Hello everyone, my name is Brian Huntley, Bodyshop Manager here at Maxton Chevrolet. And today I want to do a video review of the upcoming software release from CCC called the CCC One Touch mobile estimating app. Been using this software for about a month now and using it on two different tablets. First one is the Dell Venue 8 and the second one is the Dell Venue 11. So I'll be showing both of those tablets today, give you kind of an idea of which one I like best for whatever situation I'm in, and help you make a decision about what platform and tablet you want to do if you're going to look into doing the mobile estimating with the CCC One Touch app. All right, so one of the first things that I want to show you is when you start the program, you'll come to this screen here and it has most all of your vehicles that you have in your shop at the present moment. One of the nice things that they've done is you can actually go through different stages and see repairs are completed. It'll bring up those vehicles. You can choose from different insurance companies. You can choose by name of customers. You can choose by dollars, date in the shop. You can choose your different estimators. Pretty nice option for that. Then you can also remove those filters. For this particular vehicle, it was a vehicle that was damaged on a test drive, so we're going to use that file. Now when you open the system, the first thing it's going to ask you for, if you don't already have a VIN number in there, is to scan the VIN. And there are several different options with that. There's the manual barcode scan, there's the manual VIN entry where you can actually enter the VIN itself, and then there's also the QR code scan, which that is the scan that we'll use on this particular. All right, so to use the QR scan feature, you'll actually, most of them are located on the VIN tag on the vehicle, and once you line it up with the VIN tag, get it close enough, it will begin to decode the VIN. From there you're going to hit next. And then as you can see, you have multiple points of impact that you can document on the vehicle. This is damaged in the front end, so we're going to select that. And we can enter a production date. For this purpose, I'm just going to leave it at the default. It automatically defaults to whatever month and day you're in. And so we can take a photo of the front end of the front damage, which is the damage area that the vehicle is. After you do that, you're going to click OK. Then you can capture the license plate information, which would be there. Hit OK on that. And then we can proceed with the interior color on the vehicle, which is gray, exterior color, which is also gray. It has a generic set of colors in the system. You can choose a license plate number, you can choose a state just by scrolling with the scroll menu. Then one of the nice features is you can we go to a photo screen, and that photo screen allows you to document the damages as well as label the photos as you take them. So if we want to do left front, we'll take that and do a left front photo. Not only does it take the photo, it actually will label it left front as well. Coming back to the rear, we'll document the left rear damage. Click or tap the screen to take the photo. Hit the check mark. As you can see, it puts that photo right in the right spot. All right, now right rear. Same thing for that. Tap the screen. Hit OK, puts it right in the right spot. Move to the right front. And we can do the same thing there. Right front damage. Tap the screen. Hit OK. Puts it right where it's supposed to be and labels the photo. In order to add some additional photos, you can click the plus button, take whatever photos you need, to document the damage. Hit OK, saves it to the file. Come around to the front, maybe take a little closer photo of some of the damage. Document it like so. And you can take as many additional photos as you want. There's really not a limit other than whatever the limit is. I think it's 6 megabytes in CCC. Then you can go to the options, and it has all the same options that you're accustomed to seeing in CCC. Seats, transmission, power brakes, power locks, all that stuff. After that, you can click and get into the estimate. Now, in order to start writing an estimate, you just simply click the Add Line button, and you can begin writing your estimate. All right, so when you begin writing the estimate, as I said before, you just simply click that screen or click the Add Line button, and you can go through. As you can see, it has all of the groups that you have in the desktop version. One of the things that I did like about the program is that you can actually select front only, so it will actually only give you all the items on the front. If you're writing a vehicle that was hit in the rear, you can select all of the rear portion of the vehicle. Major panels, if you're doing, say, PDR or something like that, it looks like that you can select just those major panels, the fenders, the doors, the roof, the hood, liftgate, all those major things, so you don't have to scroll through all of the other items in order to write your estimate. Another nice feature is the suspension. You can go in there. If you got a vehicle that was suspension only, you can just go in there that way. With this one, we'll go to all groups, and then since the vehicle has damage to the front end, we'll start at the front bumper group. And as you can see, when you click the front bumper group, it brings up the front bumper and all of its items. Now on the Dell Venue 8, it is a little bit smaller than on the Venue 11, which I'll show you in just a second. But one of the nice things about the program is that you can go in and touch the expand button, and as you can see, it gives you a very, very nice graphic of all of the parts on the front end, just as the same as the desktop version. We're going to select the bumper, and as you can see, it turns it blue, and then whenever you minimize these graphics back down, your bumper is already selected. So you're going to select that. I'm going to replace it in this instance, so we'll click replace. It's going to ask us if we want to refinish the part. Then we'll click the next button, and it's going to ask us that ever important question if it's refinished separately or with other panels. We're going to click yes. We don't paint the bumpers on the car here. Then the nice thing about it, which actually works pretty quick if you can see there, is it's going to pull up all of your aftermarket suppliers that you have set up in your desktop system. This is a brand new vehicle, so I'm going to go with the OEM, so I'm going to click next, and it just added the bumper to the estimate. Now we can see that if we hit X and remove the database from the screen, you can see the estimate there. You can see a dollar amount up in the corner. You can see all the lines. If I wanted to go back and add a note to the line, I just simply click that and then go to the edit button over here, and it'll bring up that line, and then I can go in here and I can put notes in to the system. It gives me all of the vendors, suppliers that are possible. It also it gives me all the H notes, and then I can simply add notes here as I wish. Now the interesting thing about it was this screen does not have an exit menu on it, which initially was not quite so intuitive for me, but once I figured out that all you have to do is just click back to the estimate and it'll take you back there. All right, so continuing on, we will add another line or continue the estimate by adding a line, and both headlights need to be replaced. So we will go ahead and bring up the headlights. We can also expand it again so we can see everything that is involved with the headlights. Drop it back down, select the headlight, replace, aim the headlights, next. Again, it's going to bring up your aftermarket database. I'm going to put all OEM stuff on this vehicle, and it's added to your estimate. Now we can go replace the hood, as the hood is damaged on the vehicle. Open that screen. Again, you can expand to see everything up close and personal. I'm going to select the hood, select replace, yes for underside. As you can see, it has all the same menus that you would count on having in the desktop version. And as you can see, this is a real-time video, and it does seem like it's working very quick, sometimes even quicker than what the desktop version is. I know my desktop version does take a little while to pull up an aftermarket database on a vehicle usually, but this one's extremely quick, and you can see here that it does add the amount of dollars that you added to the estimate as like a fading notification from the right-hand lower corner. All right, so let's see what else we got. So we can go through and we can analyze the estimate, see how many labor hours are on it, see what the current totals are. You can actually go in and adjust the events in the vehicle for cycle time. You can also check and see what your percentages are of labor, of parts, your miscellaneous. One other thing back in the estimate note to add is that if you want to add a part code table item, all you have to do is click the part code, and it will pull up all of your list of part codes that you have in the system. Now, depending on what you want, you just simply select them by tapping each line individually, and then you can add all of those. I'm just tapping those randomly. We're obviously not going to add battery disposal to this one, but when you do that, you just click Done, and it will add all of those lines to the bottom of the estimate, just like you normally would in your desktop version. One of the nice things about this that I've noticed is if you can see how the photos are labeled automatically, other than these two photos over here that I took manually, all the photos are labeled, and those items do show up on the desktop as being labeled. For those of you that are on the State Farm program where they require labeling of all the photos, this is a step that is avoided. You don't have to go in there and manually enter all of your labels on your photos. So overall, very nice program. I'm going to show you the Dell Venue 11 with the same file here now. And in order to exit out, you just simply click the exit button and click yes. And at that point, it'll actually save the file to the cloud where CCC houses all of your files. It takes a few moments to do that. Once that's done, it'll take you back to your main screen where you can select other files. As you can see, it shows the front photo that we initially took, as well as showing the vehicle and what status the estimate is in. It's estimate 01. And I will switch over to the Dell Venue 11 tablet and show you what it looks like on there. All right, something I will show you with the Dell Venue 11. Obviously, it's a little larger. My hands are pretty big, but it's a much bigger platform than the Dell Venue 8. You wouldn't think that much real estate would give you that much of an advantage as far as screen size, but it certainly does. So I am going to log in. One of the things when you first set up your account for your CCC One Touch, it will require you to set up a PIN. When you set that up, you just simply enter that PIN. The program will start, and it takes you to your first screen that you have all of your vehicles in. And you can see that we have the vehicle that we just wrote. Simply click on it. As your files get a little larger, it does take a few extra seconds to download them from the cloud, depending on what your connection speed is. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. While it's doing that, I can tell you one of the workflow items that I have found using is helpful is if you, and you should be, scheduling all of your estimates in, and when you do that, have that customer service representative or whoever it is that takes the phone call to schedule that person in, have them get all the information, the customer's address, phone number, all of those items, any claim information from an insurance company. And once you do that, then you can simply go into the screen that we saw previously and download that file, open the file up, and you'll be ready to go. All right, so we have the file up on the Dell Venue 11, and took a couple of seconds. I'm not 100% sure why, but took a couple of seconds. Normally doesn't take that long on the Venue 8. I don't know if that was just a switch from the platform, but there again, we can add a line to the estimate. As you can see, it is quite a bit larger amount of real estate. One of the things with that is that the graphics are a little bit larger. You can see more of the actual database on the side, and you can see your image probably without having to blow it up. However, it is very nice if you're out in the shop doing a supplement with a technician. I just did that yesterday, and it's very nice to be able to go through and take a look at that. You can compare the part with the actual database screen. A lot of times it's a little bit easier, avoids having to get up from your desk, walk back there, go back, take a look at the part, come back up to your office, and figure out what part it is. So I know this is going to need upper tie bar, so we can go ahead and do that. We can replace it. It's going to ask you for all the evac and recharge, add for automatic transmission. Add those items just as you normally would. It's going to bring up your aftermarket supplier just like before, and I certainly wouldn't want to put an aftermarket radiator support in, but I guess you could. Going back to the screen, you can see all of your items in there just like on the other tablet. One of the things that CCC1 has suggested with this system is that you get rid of your desktop PC, you get rid of your camera, all of those items, you get rid of them. I think with this form factor you definitely could do that because you do have the camera ability. As we saw before, you can go in and take photos of the vehicle. Don't have to lug around an extra camera. That's one of the nice options with this. And I'll go back in and show you real quick one of the things with the photos. So if you get a photo and you want to do a edit on it, then you can simply put some notes in there. It'll go through there and it'll show up on the screen. It looks like, now I just noticed this on the Venue 11, it was not there on the Venue 8, but whenever you're done, it says tap here when you're done. So that is an interesting thing that I just noticed. They may have done some updates to the program that I was unaware of. Let's see if it changed with the lines of the estimate as well. Let's go in and do a change on a line, or put a note in on a line and see what it says. And it does. As you can see, they did add that. I don't know if that's just specific with this particular version of it on this particular tablet, but it is something that definitely gives you a clue as to when you're done making a note, you can tap here when you're done and it'll bring you back. Back to the form factor issue. This particular model, it does have the ability to sit in a cradle, which would be very nice. You can attach a keyboard to the cradle, as well as it also has a USB port on the side. There's your charging port, volumes, headphones. So I think this would definitely be more applicable for your desktop version. It has an HDMI port where you could hook another monitor up to it if you wanted to have a larger monitor or have customers see what's going on. It has an expandable memory port, and it also has a lock hole for locking the tablet down to your desk. So on-off button up here, 8 megapixel camera on the back. I suggest with taking photos that you turn the camera up as high as it'll go, because there is some compression that takes place in CCC in the touch program as well as the regular program. So that's a good tip for anybody with a regular camera as well, is to turn it up as high as it'll go, and then it will compress down. And the more information you start with, the better it's going to compress. So that is pretty much it for the review of the tablet. I do like it a lot. I find that I'm using it more than my desktop version, just with customers outside in the shop doing supplements. I have not found any issues with it, other than if you get too far away from your access point, then you're not going to be able to have communication with your network, and that will cause an issue with the program. One of the things, I forgot to show this. One of the things we can do with the system is when you open up a file, you can go back in, and if you're in the estimate like this, you simply put your thumb or finger at the top, drag down, and click the print button. And if you have a printer set up in the tablet, it will allow you to print it while you're outside with the customer. When you come back in, you're done, hand them an estimate, schedule them, and they're good to go. So it's going to show you the normal options that you would if you're in the estimate. Maybe not all the options, but the pertinent options to the estimate that you just did. So you can click preliminary estimate, click print, and then of course our printer is on here, Bodyshop, and it will pull up another dialog box that says the app is waiting to print, and then it's going to give you a brief picture of what you're about to print. Click print, and it is going to print off, and it will be ready when you go back inside to give it to the customer. One of the things I'll show you is I'll pull up this same estimate on the desktop, and I can show you a couple of things that transpire when you write the estimate with the tablet, namely the labeling of the photos. So I will show you that next. All right, so as you can see, the estimate looks pretty much the same as it would if you wrote it in the desktop version. The only thing that really changes very much at all is the attachments. You can see all the attachments have been labeled with the designated photo placeholder in the CCC One Touch application. So like I said before, that does alleviate the need for you to go back in and label all those photos for insurance companies that require you to do so. State Farm being one of them that we are on a program with that requires us to do that. So it's one of those things that cuts out a step that you need to take with your estimate. So to wrap up the video review, it definitely is a program that I like, that I've been using with my customers. I hope this review kind of helps you get an idea of what's coming. I know CCC is going to be putting out a tutorial video sometime in the near future showing everyone how to use it, and I'm sure they'll come with instructions. I can tell you myself, without even having any instructions from anyone at CCC, basically I was able to fire up the program, get it running, and use it without any issue at all. I'm a little more tech savvy than maybe some people are, but it does seem to be intuitive and everything flows the way that you would expect it to with correlation to the desktop version. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to put my email address down below me right here. You can shoot me an email, ask me questions, my impressions, and I'll be happy to help. I think I covered everything with the video. If I did not, please shoot me an email, let me know your question. I'll certainly try to help you out. We have had a pretty good discussion on the Fender Bender group on LinkedIn. So if you are a member of LinkedIn, go ahead and go over to the Fender Bender group, take a look at the discussion we've already had. I've had several questions asked of me there. I've been trying to answer them as best that I possibly can, but I think this video review will definitely help clear up some other questions about how the program works, what it looks like. So look forward to the CCC One Touch application hitting the Windows App Store. I believe it's there now, but if your shop is not turned on, you won't be able to actually log in. But I believe that the release date is somewhere towards the end of this month, first part of next, based on what their Facebook page is saying. So until next time, this is Brian with Jack Maxton Chevrolet. Have a good day, folks.